small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
From the director of Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Adam and Barbara are
ghosts.
What's the good of being a ghost if you can't frighten people away?
Their house is being haunted by the living.
Maybe the house could use a little remodeling.
And they can't scare them into leaving.
They're dead. It's a little late to be neurotic.
So they're calling on Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice!
Who's no ordinary ghost.
You don't want his help.
Can you be scary?
What do you think of this?
Now, the party's over.
You want somebody out of the house? I want to get somebody out of your house.
But the fun has just begun.
It's showtime. Learn to throw your voice, fool your friends, fun and party.
Not bad.
This is amazing.
Want a cigarette?
Oh, no, thank you.
Oh, yeah, here I come, baby.
He's guaranteed to put some life
Attention, Kingward shoppers.
in your afterlife. Michael Keaton is Beetlejuice.
I'm the ghost with the most, babe.
At the stroke of midnight, on New Year's Eve of the last decade of the 20th century, America's largest city is about to pay for the nastiness of its inhabitants. When that day comes, when the slime starts to rise,
The Titanic just arrived.
when ghosts start arriving by the boatload,
We gotta find the guys.
there's only one thing to do.
Sometimes weird things happen. Someone has to deal with it. And who are you gonna call? All right, suck in the guts, guys. We're the Ghostbusters.
The superstars of the supernatural are back to nuke the spooks.
Two in the box. Ready to go. We be fast and they be slow.
Make some time.
Don't put any of those old cheap moves on you.
No.
It's different.
I have all new cheap moves.
Raise your spirits.
If we don't do something by midnight, you will be remembered in history as the man who let New York get sucked down into the 10th level of hell.
And kick some slime.
Looks like a giant Jell-O mold.
I hate Jell-O. Oh, come on. There's always room for Jell-O. Happy New Year.
Hose 'em.
Ghostbusters 2.
You're short, your belly button sticks out too far, and you're a terrible burden on your poor mother.
Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Sigourney Weaver, Harold Ramis, Rick Moranis, and Ernie Hudson in an Ivan Reitman film. Ghostbusters 2.
We're the best, we're the beautiful, we're the only Ghostbusters. We're back!
Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters! Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters!
Roswell, New Mexico. 2 casualties were recovered from the wreckage of an unidentified flying object. The doctors on duty that day were delegated the supreme responsibility of documenting mankind's first recorded contact with an alien species. What is this? Amazingly, there seems to be luminescence emanating from inside the cavity itself. Any guess is as good as another as to what this perplexing icon represents.
She gasped. Fearfully, she sank down in the chair. Let's see now. She sank down, struggling for breath. Sounds like she's drowning. She... It's a nice try, Captain, but definitely not for a family magazine.
Oh, that's too bad.
Well, don't let it spoil the pleasant mood you seem to be in this morning.
This arrangement of ours may not be as intolerable as at first it seemed.
Positively gallant.
My dear lady, I could have done much worse. At least we share a craving for privacy.
It's not just a craving, it's a requirement. The writer has to be alone.
Alone. What a lovely word. Positively musical. Do you remember Coleridge's Ancient Mariner? Alone, alone, all alone. Alone on a wide, wide sea. I'll impale his gullet on a marlin spike.
I know that's not from Coleridge.
Look, that buffoon Claymore. He's bringing a stranger here. Does he think that Gull Cottage is a public tavern? Madam, stand fast. I'm about to repel boarders.
So this is Gull Cottage. Well, it's everything I expected. Should we go in?
Wait, well, maybe we...
Well, what's the matter? Will Mrs. Muir mind?
Oh, she won't mind. Get down. No. On second thought, we better not. No, Mrs. Muir lets her pricks. I mean, she rides her like a thing. Get down. Stop.
Now, Mr. Gregg.
Yes?
I paid you a fee in very good faith.
Oh, yes, the fee. Well, I'm awfully sorry, but maybe I can find you another house like this.
Oh. Mr. Gregg.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Gregg.
Well, as long as we're here. Come on.
Oh, hello, Mr. Gregg. We don't want any.
You see, they don't want any.
No, but I'm not selling anything. My name is Paul Wilkie. I've been studying New England architecture for years, and I have never seen a place like this. Did you know that Gull Cottage is an absolute find?
I didn't even know it was lost. What can I do for you, Mr. Wilkie?
Well, I'd like to come in and just look around, perhaps take a few pictures.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mrs. Muir's very busy.
Oh, I was afraid of that. We'd better go.
Mr. Gregg, never say die.
Oh, never.
I would like to speak to Mrs. Muir myself, if you don't mind.
All right. You might as well come inside.
Now, that is fascinating.
Play Mork, Mr. Wilkie, and Mrs. Muir.
How do you do, Mrs. Muir? I beg you to let me take some pictures of this marvelous old house.
Well, I'm right in the middle of some very difficult work right now. I'm sorry.
Oh, I won't disturb you. I won't disturb you at all. I will be as silent as the grave.
Well, I've got to run away. I've got to run. Bye.
High-strung, isn't it?
Yes. If you're here to take pictures for a magazine, I'm sorry, but the last thing in the world...
Oh, no, Mrs. Muir, no. They're for my own personal use. As a matter of fact, I think you're probably going to find that it's easier and faster to let me take my pictures than try and get rid of me.
Well, maybe the old goat is mellowing. No, he isn't.
Your Captain Gregg was sort of sour-looking, wasn't he?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, what I mean is, It's just hard for me to imagine that a man who looked like that could have built a home like this.
Mrs. Muir, it's high time I sent this lot packing.
Good idea.
Did you say something?
Oh, I was just thinking out loud.
Oh, yes. Well, now take this window seat, for example. It adds a very authentic touch.
Blast!
Well. Now for the rest of the house. Marvelous. To think that a house like this was wasted on an eccentric old seafarer.
It's certainly very insulting about a man you don't even know. I mean, you couldn't know because he's been dead for over 100 years.
Pardon me. Well, I don't think he's going to take umbrage at this late date.
You've got to be careful. Martha just waxed the floors, and they're very slippery.
Yeah, she must have waxed the rugs, too.
Are you all right?
Well, I'm a little dizzy.
I'll get you a glass of water.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Mrs. Muir, why did you do that?
I'm terribly sorry, but it was an accident. I must have slipped.
Yes, you said the floors had been waxed. Yes. Mrs. Muir, I'm beginning to think that there's a very hostile presence in this house.
Oh, that's me. I mean, no. I'm not hostile. It's just that I did tell you I was busy, and I'm afraid you just have to go because I have to go to the library and do some research.
Oh, well then, perhaps I could come back later on.
No. Martha and the children are going to the movies with me afterwards, and we won't be back until late.
Oh, well then, how about just one more picture before I leave? Would that be all right?
All right, one, but just hurry, because we're ready to leave.
Yes, I will.
I'm terribly sorry.
That's perfectly all right, Miss Muir. Perfectly all right.
Please hurry, Mr. Wilkie.
I'm coming. I'll be right there.
So that's the lay of the land, is it?
What was that? That's what I thought it was. Oh, that's good. Well, good evening, Captain. It's nice to see you again. Oh, my foot. Well, show yourself. Why don't you show yourself? All right. All right. In the dark, then. Captain? Captain?
fudge sundae before bed?
Eating fudge sundaes before bedtime gives you bad dreams. Remember the last time you dreamed that...
There's a strange man on the floor.
No, it was a bear.
Sure looks like a man.
Oh, it's Mr. Wilkie.
He was probably robbing the place. I knew there was something fishy about him. Now, careful, Mrs. Muir.
Oh, Mrs. Muir. Your children? They look just like you.
Well, he's the politest thief in town.
I bet Captain Greg caught him.
Oh, the poor man's delirious.
Well, he didn't say that. Jonathan did.
But it must have been Captain Greg.
See, he is delirious. Children, you get upstairs.
Aww.
Come on, right now. I'll be up in a minute.
Well, Buster, before I phoned for the police, how did you get in here?
Oh, I unlocked the window before I left.
He's not only a polite crook, he's honest.
A crook? Oh, no, Mrs. Muir. No, there's a complete explanation for everything.
You might start with your condition.
Mrs. Muir, I've been pummeled, punched, pinched, and pelted. Isn't it wonderful?
How do you take your coffee?
Black, with sugar.
That the way they serve it in Sing Sing?
I can assure you that my motives are really quite honorable.
That's nice to know. Watch the spoons.
What I have to say, I'm afraid, might have alarmed her, but you seem to be a very level-headed woman.
Well, let's start at the beginning. Just who are you?
Now, my name is Paul Wilkie. Yes, that's my real name. But I'm not a student of architecture. I'm a parapsychologist. I look for ghosts.
You think there's a ghost here at Gull Cottage?
Mrs. Muir, I have devoted my life to the study of the spirit world, and I know that the ghost of Captain Gregg is here. Now, well, for example, the sarcastic remarks that I was making earlier, those were deliberate. I was trying to draw them out, and it worked. Well...
Maybe you should take up architecture. It would seem safer.
Mrs. Muir, you're looking at a man with a cause. I am trying to expand the Department of Parapsychology at the university. Now, I've been mocked, laughed at, ridiculed, but my hour has come. I found enough evidence in this house to convince even the most skeptical of my superiors.
Evidence?
Well, yes, the pictures I took. You see, some of them are bound to show some ghostly manifestations. But what I'm really relying on is when the college board comes here and sees for itself tomorrow night. You see, at nighttime, ghosts...
Now, just a minute. I don't want you back here.
You would stand in the path of knowledge and of science?
Mr. Wilkie, I told you before, I need my privacy. I work here.
I see. Well, Mrs. Muir, the best way to guarantee your privacy is to allow me to return here tomorrow night with my superiors.
How does that guarantee my privacy?
Well, it'll keep me from calling the papers, and TV, and newsreels, and a bunch of busybodies who will just swarm up here on one word from me.
How quaint. We have a blackmailing parapsychologist.
I'll make a deal with you. You allow me to return tomorrow night with 2 members of the faculty, and that will be that. Otherwise, I'm afraid you're going to have a whole front porch swarming with newspapermen tomorrow morning.
Well, you don't offer me much choice, do you?
I hope not.
You might have knocked.
Madam, I am a ghost.
Rattle a chain or something. You've had enough surprises for one day.
Slack off, Mrs. Muir. I rendered you a service this evening.
Just how did you do that?
I gave a sound thrashing to that Wilkie rascal. Cheap second-story man. He won't be back.
He's not a second-story man. He will be back, and with company.
What do you mean he'll be back? Didn't I give him enough of a beating?
It's because you gave him such a good beating that he's coming back. He investigates supernatural occurrences.
Madam, are you suggesting that I am responsible for the disruption of our lives?
I don't know who else is. If you'd behaved yourself, he might have gone away.
That wharf rat insulted me. You heard him. He called me eccentric and sour.
He might have added gullible. He said those things just to provoke you. And it worked.
Who was it allowed that creature into the house in the first place?
A natural mistake. He said he was a student of architecture.
Ah, and you talk about gullibility.
What was I supposed to do? Barricade the door? Come after him with a shotgun?
Pity those ideas didn't occur to you before now.
Captain Gregg, you are becoming more and more irrational, irascible, and impossible.
And you, Mrs. Muir, are in grave danger of becoming an unmitigated... We're having a serious quarrel. This won't do.
I was just upset. I'm sorry.
That's better. I hope you don't expect a reciprocal apology. But let me say that sometimes, in the heat of anger, words pass that are ill-chosen and regrettable.
Well, it's been known to happen.
And as one's passions cool, one may feel a twinge of remorse.
That's reassuring.
But I will not apologize. Now, let's see. There is nothing we cannot take care of if we make up our minds to it. You say this Wilkie oaf intends to return?
Yes. He's bringing a group that he wants to convince tomorrow night.
Why at night?
Well, he says you're more active at night.
What does the fella think I am? A blasted owl?
Now, don't go losing your temper again.
No, I'll save that until tomorrow night. And then...
No, you mustn't. That's just what he wants. Now, let me handle it.
You? Turn the helm over to you again when you've already driven us on the reefs?
Do you think that you could stop your nautical metaphors long enough to promise that you will remain absolutely quiet tomorrow night?
Madam, I will try to control myself. But I will not make any promises.
Gentlemen, the search is over. As Cortez sought El Dorado, as Galahad searched for the Holy Grail, I, too, have spent most of my life looking for something.
Too bad he's not looking for a psychiatrist. I know a good one.
And here, in Gull Cottage, I found it. Proof positive of psychic phenomena. In short, Mrs. Muir, a ghost.
You mean like those photographs you showed us?
Oh, those.
Oh, the ones you took yesterday? Oh, I'd love to see them.
Well, I didn't bring them.
I did.
Maybe your ghost wears black sheets, Mrs. Muir.
Well, there has to be a sound explanation as to why those pictures failed.
I'm sure there is an explanation.
Well, I don't need pictures. This house is rich in evidence, rich. Well, for example, this rug. Now, yesterday, a rug just like this flew out from under me. Well, watch. It'll rise up.
In The Thief of Baghdad, I think Douglas Fairbanks got his rug to fly by saying abracadabra.
Well, the ghost isn't responding, but he will. I can just sense his presence. I can feel him here in the room. There, by the window seat. There, did you see?
See what?
He pulled the rug out from under me.
Somebody should have done that years ago.
Wait, just all of you. Pool your concentration. We'll force the ghost to make a manifestation. Now, please, just try. Try. There! No, there! The base. It rose.
Maybe it thinks it's a rug.
It'll happen again. Captain Gregg, I command you to make this vase rise.
Now, look, Wilkie. This is the third wild goose chase you've brought us on in 2 years.
Really, Paul, there doesn't seem to be anything here that would warrant expanding your department.
Wait, maybe Mrs. Muir has some influence over him.
Oh, who, me? I hardly know the man.
Well, try to get through to him. Please, try to get him to speak to us. Please try.
All righty. Captain Gregg, speak to us. Captain Gregg, speak to us.
Try his answering service.
Shh. Mrs. Muir, go on.
Are you there, Captain Gregg? Captain Gregg, are you there?
He's coming through. He's coming through. That's him typing. All right, you see? There's nobody here. And something has been typed. It's a message. It's a message from the great beyond.
What does it say?
See spot run. Run spot run. Well, it doesn't matter what it says. The point is, it's an effort to reach us. Who else could have written this?
Here's a possibility. Good evening, young man.
This is my son, Jonathan.
Young man, are you responsible for the typing we just heard?
No! Oh, you didn't do it, did you?
Mommy, what happens if I tell a lie?
No dessert for 2 weeks.
No dessert for 2 weeks. Okay, I did it.
Why?
Wait. Maybe Captain Gregg is working through the boy. He could be a medium. Son, are you a medium?
I think I'm a small.
Look! In the hallway! In the hallway! Look! Look! An actual visual manifestation. Now do you believe me? Do you? Do you see the importance of my work? I mean, the whole fifth-dimensional world could be...
Hi.
What are you doing?
Pulling a string.
She's pulling a string. Now, as for what you're pulling, Wilkie...
Oh, no. I didn't put her up to this. No, there's something awfully wrong here. Listen.
Listen.
It's Captain Craig. Don't anybody move. No, keep back. He may be hostile.
He may also be a little girl. Our tricks, honey.
Was I scary?
Mrs. Muir, I demand an explanation.
Gladly. Since you practiced deceit to get into my house, broke in again like a common burglar, and finally tried to blackmail me into doing what you wanted, I just thought I'd do something nice in return. So I had Martha and the children stage this little entertainment.
Jonathan. Just one curtain call.
Did you really do all those things Mrs. Muir accused you of, Paul?
Yes, sir. But there was really a very good reason.
Fine. You can tell me all about your good reason back at my office.
Our apologies, Mrs. Muir. He won't bother you again. Oh, but just for the record, did you ever see a ghost around here?
No, I've never seen a ghost around here.
That's what I figured. Good night.
Good night.
One last question, Mrs. Muir. Do you believe in ghosts?
Why, Professor, do I look like a woman who would believe in ghosts?
Good night.
My compliments, Mrs. Muir. You handled that situation very well indeed.
Thank you.
However,
However, what?
you did lie about never having seen a ghost. No dessert for 2 weeks. Yeah?
I get my own room.
Oh, really?
I called it on the room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10. First clap.
Let me try with pleasure hands.
Clap.
I'm gonna get you now. I can hear you breathing.
You took your blindfold off. I win. I was in Christine and Nancy's room.
Girls, it's way past your bedtime.
During afternoon tea, there's a shift in the air. A bone-trembling chill that tells you she's there. There are those who believe the whole town is cursed, but the house in the marsh is by far the worst. What she wants is unknown, but she always comes back. The specter of darkness. The woman in black. Sugar-free MTV.
Good morning, boss.
Good morning, Tattoo. Have you seen Julie?
Well, she's having a problem with Mr. Austin's fantasy.
Ah, yes, as I recall, Mr. Austin's fantasy was to become invisible. Yes.
Boss, is it possible to have a half a fantasy?
What do you mean? I suppose that is Mr. Austin.
Yes, it would appear Julie is having a little problem.
Half a problem.
Half.
Smiles, everyone, smiles.
Boss, who's that lady?
She is Miss Amanda Parsons from Baltimore, Maryland. Miss Parsons earns her living as a secretary, but it is an ambition to become an expert in the occult.
A pretty lady like that wants to chase after a ghost.
Yes, that's true. It is Miss Parsons' fantasy to attempt to win a $100,000 prize by staying just 2 hours in Blackmore Manor.
But boss, nobody was able to do that and live through it.
I wrote her such a stern warning that my conscience is clear.
That man, boss,
Yes?
there is something about him. What is it?
You are most perceptive, Tattoo. That is Mr. Harry Bodine. Mr. Bodine is what was once called a bounty hunter. For the reward money, he tracks down and captures the most deadly and most wanted criminals and fugitives from justice. Mr. Bodine's fantasy is to capture the only man who has ever eluded him. My dear guests, I am Mr. Rourke, your host. Welcome to Fantasy Island. Come in, Miss Parsons. May I introduce Professor Valentine? How do you do? And Dr. Daniels.
Yes, I know the gentlemen by reputation. They're both distinguished experts in the occult. Therefore, I imagine we're all here for the same purpose.
Yes, that is quite true.
What's happening here, Mr. Rourke?
It's very simple. All three of you have asked for the same fantasy. Now, this is a picture of Blackmore Manor itself.
Excuse me, gentlemen. Mr. Rourke.
Yes, Miss Parsons.
This isn't easy for me, but I'm pleading with you. Dr. Daniels and Professor Ballantyne are already at the top of their field. But this may be the only chance I ever have to get my foot in the door, to be somebody. Won't you please send them away?
Miss Parsons, I sympathize with your personal problem, but I can't play favorites among fantasizers. I couldn't possibly do what you ask. I'm terribly sorry. I imagine you all know the history of Blackmore Manor. It was purchased on the Welsh coast by an eccentric millionaire and then transported here to Fantasy Island, where it was precisely reconstructed, stone by stone, literally. Then,
The first night he tried to stay there, a ghost appeared.
But apparently it was like some diabolic form, torn straight from the bowels of hell. When the owner was released from the sanitarium, he sent me a check for $100,000 to be given to anyone who could live through at least 2 hours in Blackmore Manor. Many have tried, as you can well imagine, but no one has gained the prize. They have all been terrified.
Well, thank you for the warning, Mr. Rourke, but I have no intention of backing out.
The lady speaks for me as well.
Very well, then. There are 3 of you. Therefore, Professor Valentine and Dr. Daniels will go first. Then Miss Parsons will try. I'll have transportation ready to pick you up and take you all to Blackmore Manor in precisely 1 hour. Will you excuse me? You will note on this map that the island to which I am sending you is the most remote one of this archipelago. I will provide you with a small boat, and, well, the rest is up to you.
Are you trying to tell me that Nick Tanner's on that island, Mr. Rourke?
The boss is just saying that you should do your own dirty work yourself.
I take it you don't like my line of work, Tattoo.
For the record, Tattoo, Tanner was leader of a gang in a $500,000 bank robbery 6 months ago. 2 innocent bystanders were killed in the getaway.
That's correct. I almost caught Tanner down in Georgia, but he's knows more tricks than a swamp fox. He got away from me.
You mean to say that if you catch him, the reward goes to you?
Yes, there is a reward, Tattoo, but it'll go to the families of the people he killed. This is now a matter of professional pride.
I see.
I'm ready, Mr. Rourke.
Very well, Mr. Bodine. You will find your Mr. Tanner is on that island. Tattoo will take you to your boat now.
A bounty hunter?
It will be all right, Tattoo. I promise you.
That's a gloomy pile of rocks, Mr. Rourke.
Yes, it has been called that by certain people, Mr. Ross. You stand before Blackmore Manor. This is your last chance to change your mind. Very well, then. Tattoo and the driver will stay here in case any of you wisely decide to return to the hotel.
Do you have a key?
What for? We keep doors locked to keep people out. Nobody in his right mind wants to go in there. I've got an idea. Why don't we go back to the hotel and have a cool drink? We can stay here all day. You know nothing's gonna happen.
Monstrous! Horrible!
You cannot go in there now.
Oh, yes, I can. It's all mine now. I'll be okay.
Stay real still, mister. You may not be the man I want, so don't make me kill you.
Harry Bodine. Somehow I didn't expect you. How'd you find me?
It was the bacon, Nick. Smell carries a long way.
Across 5,000 miles of ocean?
About it. Stand up, real slow. Throw that knife down. You're good, Nick, I'll give you that. But not good enough.
It's a long way back to civilization, friend. I promise you that.
I'm not your friend, but I'll cauterize that arm for you so as you don't lose it.
You wouldn't hurt me now, would you, Harry?
Oh, it might hurt a little bit. But just think, Nick, it'll strengthen your character.
Lord Rupert Black, Admiral of the Blue. Captain Fitzhugh Ross. He looks familiar.
All this fuss and trouble just to track down an innocent man.
Yeah, an innocent man. Yeah. Well, here's about a 500,000 reasons you're not innocent, Nick.
Oh, that's the bank's money, all right, Harry. All I'm saying is I didn't take it. Bad luck must be riding on my shoulder. I only landed on this island this morning because that rubber boat I stole was leaking bad.
Yeah, I saw it. Well, just let that be a lesson to you, Nick. Crime doesn't pay. All right, on your feet.
I'll just sit here, I think.
And when we get back to the boat, I'm gonna hog tie you.
If we get there, Harry. Bet you the 500,000 we don't.
I'm not a betting man, Nicky. Now you get over there and you sit down while I pack this stuff, and don't you even blink an eyelash.
Where are you? Come out! sorry.
Please don't kill me.
Kill you? You're already a ghost.
Indeed, he is, Miss Parsons. Will you please get up, Captain? No. We can handle this discussion much, much better if you'll materialize, Captain. That's better. Miss Parsons, may I present Captain Timothy Black, late of His Majesty King George III's Royal Grenadiers.
Enchanted, Miss Parsons.
You're the ghost of Blackmore Manor?
Unfortunately, he is condemned to endlessly wander these desolate rooms to atone for the transgression of youth.
Would you mind just putting that pistol down, please?
Mr. Rourke, what's happening here?
Well, would you care to explain, Captain?
No. I've lived with the cursed memory every day for the last 250 years.
Very well, then. Captain Black was the son of the distinguished Admiral Lord Rupert Black, one of the great heroes of the British Empire. Unfortunately...
Go ahead, say it. I was as much a coward as he was a hero.
No, Captain. You're much too hard on yourself. No. His problem stems from an unfortunate affair of honor over the affections of a young lady. He was challenged to a duel by Captain Fitzhugh Ross, a noted crack shot and expert duelist. They met in the woods with his hero father watching. When he stared down the deadly barrel of his opponent's pistol, Captain Black's nerve failed him.
No, don't shoot. Please don't kill me!
He fled the field of honor with his father shouting a curse after him for bringing disgrace on the family name. Tragically, on his way back to this very room 250 years ago, the captain was thrown from his horse and killed.
I don't like it, Harry. It's too quiet. No bird sounds, nothing. I think we got company.
What kind of company, Nick?
It might be the guys I took the money from. Jack Slater and his pals.
Take cover! Maybe we're in luck. Somebody might help us. Anybody here? Hello? Anybody home?
Hold it. Real still now. Both of you. That's right. Give me your guns. The other one.
Wait till the news services hear about this.
Now inside, both of you.
I was condemned to haunt this place until I could do an act of courage that would redeem me in my father's eyes. I couldn't help running from Fitzhugh Ross. He had the neighboring estate, and he terrified me from the time that I was a little boy. He took my girls, my ponies. He beat me up. He broke my nose 3 times. I never learned to face up to him.
Well, Miss Parsons, it would seem that your fantasy is over. And completely successful. You have won the prize by staying the required time in Blackmore Manor.
Yes, I suppose I've gotten everything I wanted, but I do feel sort of sorry for him. Mr. Rourke.
Yes?
There's that jogger again. He looks just like that painting of Captain Ross.
It's Captain Fitzhugh Ross. He's after me again.
Oh, no. No, Captain, no. Oh, his name is Ross, but he's only one of our guests. Although I do understand that his ancestors came from Wales. And not far from the original site of Blackmore Manor, as a matter of fact. Yes. Miss Parsons, are you ready for me to drive you to your bungalow?
Mr. Rourke, isn't that man being here rather a large coincidence?
Are you suggesting that I arranged the way for you to possibly solve Captain Black's eternal problem?
That's exactly what I'm suggesting.
Well, I see your reasoning. But of course, you are wrong to suspect me. Even if it would make the best possible ending for that book you mentioned writing, the stuff of which bestsellers are made. Yes. However, it wasn't part of your fantasy to help the ghost, was it?
I am going to help you, Timothy.
To do what?
Well, I don't know, redeem yourself with some act of courage against that man outside.
Captain Ross? Are you crazy? Aren't you satisfied with what he did to me the last time?
Timothy, don't you see? If you're already dead, how can he hurt you anymore?
Well, how can you be sure?
Trust me.
You seem to be who you say you are, Mr. Bodine. I'm Juliet Milburn. I own and run this plantation, such as it is. Is there really $500,000 in there?
You and me could go a long way on that. You hand me that shotgun and your husband didn't object too much.
My husband's dead, and I wouldn't go around the table with you. I can help stop that bleeding.
Ow!
Would you hold still?
You said you cauterized it back there in the jungle.
It looks like a bullet nicked an artery.
I'm lucky I didn't bleed to death.
Well, if you don't shut up and hold still, you still might.
Is it gonna hurt?
You men are all so stoic. It's going to hurt, but you'll live. Would you help me hold him down?
My pleasure. I'm sorry. I didn't know you were here alone.
3 years ago, my husband and I bought this land to raise taro and rice and be independent. A year later, he was killed in an accident. I grew up on the wrong side of Chicago, Mr. Bodine. I had to fight for everything I wanted to get and wanted to keep, including myself. Keep looking out the window. Are you expecting someone?
4 men. The rest of his gang, Mrs. Milburn. He double-crossed them. Now they're looking for him and the money. They'll trail us here sooner or later.
4 of them and 3 of us. Those are better odds than I'm used to.
2 of us, Mrs. Milburn. I wouldn't trust Nicky Boy here with a squirt gun.
The only thing in this world you do trust is money, right, Harry? Reward money. Whether the man you track down is innocent or guilty is no concern of yours, right?
Are you saying that you weren't involved in this robbery?
That's right. I ran with the gang once, but I paid my dues in prison. When I got out, I broke with Slater. He didn't like that, so he set me up to take a fall. When they knocked over that bank, they all wore masks and just left an old wallet of mine on the floor.
Mm-hmm. Then they just looked you up and handed over the money.
Wrong. I looked them up and took the money. I figured I had it coming, seeing as how I got the credit.
Well, you don't believe that fairy tale, do you?
I haven't made up my mind yet.
I don't understand how anybody's father could condemn his own son like yours did. You must have hated him.
No, I didn't hate him. I didn't hate him at all. It's just, as a matter of fact, I really loved the old butcher. He just did the things that people did in those days, and, well, most of the time he was actually awfully good to me.
Would you like to see him again?
Yes. Yes, I sure would. Just once, I would love to have him look at me and say, "Son, I'm proud of you." That would really be something.
And we're going to make it happen. Come on.
Wait, Amanda. Amanda. May I kiss you?
Kiss me?
Well, I haven't kissed a girl since the French Revolution.
Sure.
Well, that was even better than I remembered. Or maybe it's just you, but I think, well, at another time, I could fall in love with you.
Oh, that would be wonderful, but a girl 25 and a man 250, that's a real generation gap. Anyway, I got a plan. And the first thing we got to do is get you some different clothes. Come on.
I've been wondering, Harry. Why don't you just hand me and the money over to Slater?
You'll get your day in court, Nick. That I promise you.
You know, Harry, sometimes I almost like you. But those guys know their way around. They're a small army, and they want that money bad.
That's what I'm counting on. Men who want money that badly aren't looking for ways to die before they can spend it.
Money. Sometimes I think that's the only thing all men ever talk or dream about.
Woo-wee.
You'll have to excuse his manners, Mrs. Milburn. You look beautiful.
Why, thank you, Mr. Bodine. Now, I see no reason why we shouldn't all go in and have dinner. I've got stew that's been on the stove cooking for six hours. If you'll excuse me, I'll just go in and start setting the table.
That's a real woman there, Harry.
A lonely woman. And a lonely woman is more prone to make mistakes about her judgment in people.
What I told her about the robbery. It's the truth, Harry. I swear it.
No, those people. Wait a minute. Are you sure we're dressed all right? I mean, look at me. I mean, I look so pale. I feel just a little bit naked without my wig on.
You look wonderful. And of course you're pale. You haven't been in the sun for 250 years.
Well, I know, but...
Oh, that's all right. That's a few dress these days.
Yeah, but in my time, a couple never wore that little even on their wedding night. I mean, that's what I heard anyway.
Look, there he is now.
Oh, Captain Ross?
No. Now look, just walk up to him and challenge him to a fight. Let
No,
him know you can really stand up to him.
No, I can't.
Maybe that'll be enough to remove the curse.
Oh, well... All right, well, if you say so. Sir, you are a blackguard and a scoundrel.
You talking to me?
Go on.
Yes? You're also a pony thief. And worst of all, you're a creature totally devoid of honor.
Do you know what he's talking about? I mean, none of you's married to him or anything.
What?
Defend yourself.
Oh!
You better cool off, fella, before you get hurt.
Oh, Timothy! Timothy! Oh, Timothy, are you all right?
I think he broke my nose again.
Oh.
He was always laughing at me when we were boys, too. Amanda, we've done it your way. At least now I have the courage to do it my way. The old way. At least now I know what I have to do. To die with honor.
That smells like real Chicago cooking.
Well, thank you. How do you know about Chicago cooking?
Well, not that it matters, but I grew up on the wrong side of that town, too. But that'd be good cooking in any town.
Get out!
That's what I was afraid of. It's them. For now, you reload the weapons as ammo in my backpack.
What about me, Harry?
Take the shotgun, cover my back.
Now let's talk.
I'm listening, Slater.
All we want's the money. Bring it out and you can walk away.
Do you still think I was involved in that robbery? I'll do it on one condition, Slater. Write out on a piece of paper the truth about that bank robbery.
What do you want me to say?
The truth. Was I in on that job in any way?
No, you weren't.
Then write it down. Spell it out how you set me up.
Okay, I'll do it like you say. I'll yell when I'm finished.
I just want you to know that I'd already made up my mind. I believe you.
I know. How about you, Harry?
I gave you the shotgun, didn't I?
If he goes out there, he'll be killed, won't he?
Just as soon as they have the money. We've got to think of a new game plan, or none of us leave here alive.
Please, Timothy, give me a chance to think of something else. People just don't duel anymore.
I'm sorry, Amanda. Pistols are the only language Captain Fitzhugh Ross understands.
But he's not Captain Fitzhugh. He's just some distant descendant. He doesn't even know what this is all about.
Ha! Fooled you too, has he?
Oh, it's you again. And what are we dressed for today?
Let's not waste time with words, Captain. Here, choose your weapon.
What's going on here? This is a real gun.
Oh, Timothy, please.
Hey, what is this loony trying to do, lady?
I'm afraid he's going to kill you if he can.
Correct. Now we'll fight by the usual rules. 10 paces, turn, and then fire. 1, 2,
Timothy.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
He's really gonna do it.
Defend yourself, sir.
No, don't shoot. Please don't kill me.
I should have known. I should have known. I was a coward until the very end. I might have lifted the curse if I'd have just had the courage to shoot him.
We got a choice, Nick. Tell him to stick it, stand here and take our chances, or we'll go out together, shooting.
Either way, it's no good for her.
I know.
Wait a minute. I just remembered something. I think it's the edge that we are going to need.
Good Lord, she put the dynamite caps in with the sticks.
Lucky for us, Nick. I got an idea. It's not a very good one, but if we time it right, it could work. Hold this. That ought to give you 15 seconds.
To do what?
Give Slater and his boys a little surprise whenever you take this money out to them.
What the devil are you gonna be doing?
Countdown, Nicky.
I guess I've just ruined things for good this time.
Oh, Timothy, listen to me. It doesn't take courage to shoot someone down in cold blood. In your case, it took a lot more courage not to. Don't you see that?
She is right, Captain Black. Shooting him would have been the most cowardly act possible. In fact, Captain, by not shooting him, and by that act possibly condemning yourself to endless years more in this manner, is undoubtedly the bravest thing you or any other man could have done.
You really think so, Mr. Rourke?
Yes, I do.
But I wonder what my father would say.
Why don't you ask him, Captain?
You've shown the greatest courage of all, my son. I'm proud of you. Proud of you.
So the curse is lifted. I can leave now.
Yes, my son. The curse is lifted forever.
Amanda, if only we'd lived in the same time, I wouldn't want to go. I mean, to stay here with you, even with a curse, would have been a blessing. Do you understand?
Yes, Timothy, I understand.
Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Rourke. Thank you for everything.
Bye, Timothy. Guess my fantasy really is over now.
I wrote it down just like you said, Tanner. Bring out the money. When you hear me yell, you get the hell back through that front door fast. 15. Here it is. Tanner, innocent man. Fair trade, right?
$500,000 in cold cash, Slater. Come and get it.
7, 6. Better all be there.
Count it for yourself.
1. Now, Nick!
Nick, are you all right?
Yeah.
Well, looks like they'll live to stand trial. Why don't you pick up the money while I go tie him up? Bank would be most grateful.
What's going to happen to Nick, Mr. Bodine?
Well, looks to me like he's going to be busy patching up his front yard for a while. But I'll put in a good word for him when I get back home.
I don't know how you'll manage to do much of anything till that arm gets well.
Well, I'll think of something.
Juliet Milburn, take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband?
I do.
And do you, Nicholas Tanner, take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife?
I do.
Then, by the power vested in me as Chief Magistrate of Fantasy Island, I now pronounce you man and wife. Well, Mr. Bodine, your friend, Mr. Tanner, got the bride, but you are the best man.
And always will be, Mr. Orr. Well, just look at Nick. He got a life sentence after all.
Yes, indeed, and I have a feeling he's going to enjoy every second of it.
Thank you.
Welcome. Miss Parsons, we have something for you. A check for $100,000.
Oh, thank you.
For spending the necessary time in Blackmore Manor.
That's right. Oh, that reminds me, Miss Parsons, you will have a companion on your flight home.
Timothy!
Yes, you see, his father really did love him. And since his curse deprived his son of his youth, the Admiral asked me to make up for it by letting Timothy live out a normal life, hopefully falling in love and marrying. Oh, he doesn't remember he was ever a ghost. Oh, no. Mr. Black, will you? Mr. Black, may I introduce Miss Amanda Parsons?
How do you do? It's nice to meet you.
Miss Parsons is an expert in the occult.
Really? That sounds like a very interesting field.
It is. You meet some of the most beautiful people in it. Oh, thank you very much.
You're very welcome, Miss Parsons.
Thank you, Tattoo.
Goodbye.
Come on.
That was nice, boss.
Yes.
For 100 years, he has wandered the halls of Whipstaff Manor. Waiting for someone.
There's a girl on my bed. Yes. Hi.
Casper.
Can you go invisible? That one's easy.
Now, life at Whipstaff Manor
Can I keep you?
will never be the same.
Cool.
Ghosts can't hurt you.
Yes, again, bone bag.
Don't come near me, you spiteful spook.
We share haunting stories, we throw parties. Pull!
The parties are always pretty dead, though.
I feel like Oprah on hiatus.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
We have company.
Well, company loves misery. Boom! Take a hike.
Get a grade. Dad?
All for one and one for all. Catch your pants before they fall.
You guys are disgusting, obnoxious creeps.
Thank you.
Universal Pictures and Amblin Entertainment
Are we scary or what?
invite you on a wild, wondrous ride
Hurry up, come on!
to the other side.
Smell it, Graham.
Casper.
Sorry.
There has been a destructive force unleashed on this town such as I have never seen.
Oh my God, I don't believe this. It's not happening.
We have got a poltergeist!
Okay, well, folks, I can do a clearance, but it's not going to be cheap. Although I do offer a 6-month guarantee.
That fellow takes us totally for granted.
Hey, Stuart, in or out, huh?
Frank Bannister had a remarkable ability.
Psychic investigator?
To communicate with the dead.
You can see spirits?
Emanations are normally confined to the cemetery,
You cannot push spirits around.
although they do escape.
And an uncanny knack
We're gonna scare the living daylights out of your parents.
for making a profit off the living.
We're supposed to be his business partners.
Everyone says that you're a fraud, but I've seen what you can do.
Give it up, Frank. Death ain't no way to make a living.
But now, some things put the fear of death in the living
What is happening to me?
and send the dead running for their lives.
I've seen a figure in a cape.
That was the soul collector. When your number's up, that's it.
Frank, we got problems. All these murders that have been going on in Fairwater, they're gonna pin them on you.
From Universal Pictures and Robert Zemeckis.
You're next, pal.
And acclaimed director Peter Jackson.
We don't stop till the screaming starts, you dig?
The Frighteners.
So this is where you grew up?
Yep, I was born and raised in this house.
Yeah, I could tell from its cute little pug chimney.
You really interested in buying it, Mr. Bickley?
Maybe yes, maybe no. Why is your old man trying to dump it?
My father is trying to sell it, Mr. Bickley. He and Grandma on the road all year with the orchestra is just standing here empty.
Sounds solid. Does this place have indoor plumbing?
Of course, this place has indoor plumbing.
A smart buyer learns to ask the tough questions.
It's a terrific house. Just look at it. And we're even fixing it up a little bit.
That wallpaper looks new.
It is. Mm-hmm. Mark just put it up this morning.
Didn't know the boy was handy.
You know, it's funny. Somehow this room looks different to me. Mark, are you here?
Here I am.
why did you wallpaper the door?
Well, I didn't want to stop. I was on a roll. What do you think, Vic?
It's worthy of a photo layout in House Bazaar.
Mr. Bickley, I promise, by the time we're done, this house will be as good as new, and you'll be able to enjoy it just as much as my family did.
Vic, what do you want a house for?
I yearn for digs to call my own. Let's be honest. An apartment is for wild young people, but a house, on the other hand, for wild old people. Miss McConnell, I just might be interested in this place.
Oh.
Mindy, that's wonderful. One day on the market already, we got a sucker. I guess that makes you the suckee, huh?
We'll see about that. How old is this house, anyway?
Well, it's been in my family for about 80 years, but it's been renovated a couple times.
80 years, huh? I would imagine the original owner must have paid, $2,000 or $3,000 for it.
Yeah, probably.
Tell you what, because I know you, I might even double that.
Mr. Bickley, this house means a lot to me. I was born here and my mother died here. I'm not even that sure I want to sell it.
I think I should see the other rooms before we dicker over moolah.
Listen, why don't you come back tomorrow when everything's more together and fixed up?
All right, I'll meet you here tomorrow night at 7. Call it impulse, call it serendipity, but I have a strong, nay, overpowering affinity for this joint.
That's great. Well, I have to get home, too. I'm making dinner for Jeannie tonight. Mork, you stay here and clean up.
Well, all right. I'll stay here and clean up. You go home and make dinner. She likes it when I talk rough to her. Whoa.
Mindy, if it bothers you that much to sell the house, why don't you take it off the market?
Well, my dad wants to sell it. I mean, I understand why, but it's just that's the hardest thing I've ever had to do.
I think the hardest thing I ever had to do was to refuse a complete physical exam from the chief resident at the hospital. It was in his Corvette. I'm still picking fiberglass out of my clothes.
Oh, Jenny, why am I feeling like this? I mean, it's just a house.
Oh, it was your home, Mindy. There is a big difference between a house and a home.
Yeah, the house is bricks and wood siding, and a home is memories.
Yeah, where you lick cookies off a mixer blade.
Oh, yeah, you did that too?
Yeah, but I always had to keep my eye on Remo so he wouldn't turn the mixer on.
There are a lot of memories in my house. Getting a little sentimental here, right? After all, what is this? It's a business deal. We're out to unload some real estate. But I am putting in the deal that no one is allowed to sleep in my bedroom. What is it?
I think something's troubling him.
Mork, will you come on? Mork? Tell me what's the matter?
Oh, nothing much. Just your house tried to attack me, that's all.
Mork, now really.
Oh, what do you mean, come on, really, Mindy? Mindy, I'm telling you the truth. Oh, I was at the house, and all of a sudden I was hanging wallpaper, and the wind blew me across the room. And I got real cold, and I got real hot, and then a swarm of bees came in. Then a swarm of flies. Zip, 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 zip. And then I ran flamboyantly, screaming to the window. And it slammed shut. Then, this is a terrifying part. I was standing there, and the furniture started attacking me. Yes, a little ottoman and a little ottoman woman, too. They were coming at me. And the armchair couldn't keep its hands to itself. This is the really bad part. A strange voice kept crying out, "Get out of here!" By the time it said here, I was here.
Have you been hitting the cream soda again?
Mindy, you gotta believe me. You gotta believe me.
Believe you? What am I supposed to believe? That my house is haunted?
Oh, either that or I've lost my mind. Maybe you better call the police and ask them to look for a little gray squishy thing.
Look, he could be right. You know there are case histories of haunted houses?
It's a normal house. I lived there for 20 years. Mork, tomorrow I'm going to take you over to the house in the light of day, and you can see for yourself that all those things are just a product of your overactive imagination.
Well, I have just one thing to say to that, Mindy.
What? everything is fine. See? There's nothing to worry about. Mork, will you come in here, please?
Evil spirit, be gone! In the name of Joe Garagiola, Bowie Coon, and Dick Buckus, be gone!
Mork, you're perfectly safe. There's nothing to worry about. Now, don't you feel a little ridiculous in that getup?
Maybe I was going to wear it anyway, huh?
Now, I want you to take a look around. Do you see any flies? Do you see any bees?
No, but they were here last night.
Well, bugs get in sometimes.
Oh, yeah, big suckers like that. Mm-hmm. Well, how does that explain the furniture's moving? The bees underneath going...
Sometimes a truck goes by and it moves things.
You sure?
I'm positive.
How the mind can wreak havoc on one's sensibilities, thereby dulling judgment. Timothy Leary, 1978.
Look at this place. Everything is fine. I mean, even with the furniture covered like this, it still has a certain warmth. See this chair? My mother did the needlepoint on this entire chair.
Oh, that's beautiful. Did she crochet the stain, too?
And see these marks on the door? That was how tall I was each birthday from age 2 to 13.
Oh, we have the same thing on Orc, except they tattoo it in the back of our head.
No wonder I'm having such a hard time selling this place. There's a little bit of me and my family in every room.
Anyone would be lucky to own a house like that.
Oh, that's so nice. Thanks.
Get out of here.
Did you hear that?
Hope it was a truck.
Get out of here.
Mindy, I always believe that you must have followed the advice of the spirit world. Let's take a hike.
Wait a minute. It sounds like it's coming from that closet.
That's wonderful, Mindy. Let's talk about that over tea in Wyoming.
I'm not leaving. This is my house.
Well, good luck. Aim high.
Get out of here.
Count to 3 and open the door.
Right. 1, 2, 3. Wow. T. 3.
You didn't get out of here. That's not nice.
Exeter, what are you doing here?
Vacationing.
But this is my house.
Of course. You can't vacation in your own house. Be kind. She's riding on empty. Out of the water! Don't you see that fin?
I hate to burst your very tiny bubble, but this is not a resort. It's a private home, and that is a closet.
Closet?
The vacation is over, Exeter.
Over? But I thought checkout time wasn't until 12 o'clock. Out? Moi? All right, boys, let's go. This place is getting too commercial. Steinmetz, I don't care if it's not Labor Day. Your summer's over.
Well, I told you there'd be an explanation for all those strange things that were happening.
Well, you know something, Mindy? Sometimes you're wise beyond your dimples.
Thanks. Let's take a look around and see if there's anything else we should do before the house is sold.
We better do it quickly. It's getting kind of chilly in here.
I just don't understand it. I mean, there's got to be a logical explanation for what we saw.
Oh, there is. Your house is haunted.
You know, if I were you, I wouldn't talk about this to anybody, because you could find yourself wearing a cute white little blazer with the sleeves that tie in the back.
Remo, I'm not imagining things. We saw it, didn't we, Mork? Mork?
Yes, there were ghosts in there. 100 of them.
Will you get up? Do you realize you're acting with less than total dignity? Oh. Now, I want you to be cool, like Jack Nicholson.
Damn straight, all right.
You gotta be fearless, like Charles Bronson.
Kill the women and children first.
Well, if you ask me, you've disturbed the spirit world.
Disturbed the spirit world? How?
Mindy, you're selling a house that's been in your family a very long time.
What a bag of bandini.
Sometimes there are things in the cosmos that must go unexplained.
Mindy, I don't want to upset you, but after Mork told us what went on in your house, well, I did a little research, and I found this old book in the library.
Colorado Legends?
Oh, intriguing.
That's just bunk.
You recognize this?
Yeah, it kind of looks like my house.
It is, in 1921, but it was known then as La Follette House.
La Follette is my mother's maiden name.
Well, this book says that two sisters built this home in 1894, Lucinda and Deirdre La Follette.
Lucinda and Deirdre, they must have been my great-great-aunts or something.
Well, according to this, Lucinda was the older sister, and she wasn't so attractive. But she was madly in love with this handsome young silver miner named Harrison Monteith. But he was in love with the young and beautiful Deirdre. Then one night, they found Harrison's body. He'd been mysteriously poisoned, but no one could prove who did it. After that, the sisters boarded themselves up in the house, and they were never seen again until the day they died.
Oh, that's great. That happened in my house?
Yep.
Terrific.
It could be that Lucinda and Deirdre don't want their house sold.
Which reminds me, we are supposed to meet Mr. Bickley at the house at 7.
I'll tell you what, you tell this story to Mr. Bickley and you're going to scare the pants off of him.
No, I don't think so. I think Mr. Bickley will be amused by this quaint little anecdote as I was.
Well, we'll see you later.
Mindy! Mork! I'm here. Oh, yeah.
Well, he's not here, Mindy. Let's go.
You're acting like a child. Now, will you get in here and hold my hand?
Oh, they're still here, Mind. I think I'm sensitive to those people that you can see through.
Everything looks all right.
I wonder what ghosts do when they're not busy scaring people. That's the last thing I would have dreamed of.
Just testing the plumbing.
Oh!
You ready to show me the rest of the house?
Oh, Bick, you don't want to see it.
Mr. Bickley, there have been some strange things happening in this house. What would you say if we told you that it might be haunted?
I'd say you were trying to cool my interest because you had a better offer from an Arab.
Oh, no jive, Bick. I mean, this house should be moved to a padded neighborhood.
Hey, I don't go for all that hooey. I want this house. But not that much.
It's boarded up. Look, we're trapped.
Oh, Mindy, something terrible is happening to me.
Mark! Who's Mark? I'm Lucinda! Mark, will you get out? We gotta get out of here. You're not gonna sell this house. It's our home, isn't it, Deidre? Whatever you say, Lucinda, you're old and you know more. Are you possessed? Stop breathing! Nothing's gonna ever come between us again, is it, Deidre? I don't
It's all beginning to make sense now. You kicked me out so you could vacation in there yourself.
You gotta help us.
I don't have time. I'm late for the hooky low. Just came by to pick up my necessaries.
But you can't go. Mork's in trouble. You can't just leave.
I follow the sun. I'm off to hang 12.
Look, we have a gentleman caller. He's a man. Let's waste it. How would you like some gator tea?
Oh, hello. You're so beautiful. You look just like Harrison. Oh, how would you like to make a lonely ghost very happy?
Well, the vacation isn't a total loss. I just met 2 chicks. How'd you like to meet me down at the beach? Oh, sorry? Listen, we'll frolic in the tidal pools and let the hermit crabs have their way with us. Aloha. I'm off to the hooky low.
I'm going with him, Lucinda. No, we'll both go.
But what if we go? We'll never be able to return back here to Belle Reve.
Come on, girl, let's party. Come on now.
They're gone, Mindy.
Oh, Mork, you're all right. Oh.
Oh, it's not easy having body guests.
Everything's all right now. I think they're gone. Look, the boards are off the window, and it's not cold in here anymore.
Oh, Mindy, you gotta get rid of this house. You gotta sell it, ditch it, burn it.
How can I? In spite of what's happened, it's my house. It's my past. What's wrong?
Remember I told you I was sensitive to those spirits? Well, we're not alone.
Oh, no, we're not.
There's another spirit in here.
Oh.
It's a gentle one, though. I think it wants to talk to you.
Oh, no.
I remember my little daughter playing peekaboo behind this chair after she'd made that caterpillar out of the egg carton.
Mom?
And remember that time you put your daddy's underwear on the puppy?
Mom, is that you? Mom, are you all right?
Oh, yes, dear. I'm fine.
There's so many things I want to ask, but I don't know where to start.
It's all right, darling. But I don't have much time, and there's something that I need to tell you. Do you remember that old teddy bear that you loved so much, and you hugged it till it was smooth, and the stuffing was coming out, and the eyes were gone, but you still didn't want to give it up?
Yeah, but I don't understand what this has to do with...
Well, dear, you finally outgrew it. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with giving up things that you've outgrown. Goodbye, dear.
Do you have to go?
Yes. But don't worry, darling. Wherever you are, I'll always be with you.
I love you, Mom.
I mean, the spirit's gone.
Yes, she has. Oh, Mark, that was my mother.
Oh, Ming. What did she say to you?
She told me a story about my teddy bear. But I don't think she was talking about the bear as much as she was talking about this house. You know, Mark, it's really tough to let go of something you love. Especially when there are so many memories created here. But now I realize that the memories are living in this house or living in me. And they always will.
Well, maybe you and I can create some more memories to keep them company.
Mork calling Orson. Come in, Orson. Mork calling Orson. Come in, Orson.
Mork!
Sir?
Why are you wearing that strange cranial covering?
Well, it's for protection, sir, but it's all explained in my report.
Do you have an interesting report this week?
Oh, indeed I do, oh portly one. And it's all in rhyme to make it fun. I went to fix up Mindy's house. I was quiet as a mouse when suddenly the house was shaking. It wasn't San Andreas quaking. The room filled with flies and bees and scared me out of my BVDs. A voice told me, get out of here. I said, in fear, I ran to Mindy's willy-nilly. They all told me that I was silly. There's no such thing as ghosts, said she, and pried my arms around her knee. I swore to her that there was a spirit and took her to the house to hear it. Then we got the explanation. It was my friend Exodore on vacation. I said he was a silly goose. Then all hell broke loose. La, 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 said Mr. Bickley. A moment later, he turned sickly. Then we found out why the house was cold. It was unwilling to be sold. What's the moral of this poem? That there's no place like your home.
Thank you, Mork. I like your rhyme.
Thank you, sir. Nanu, until next time. Maybe we'll meet in a warmer clime. Get together and have...
Thank you, Mork. Next.